Ladies and gentlemen, a YouTube video went viral, and suddenly federal agents were knocking on doors in Minneapolis. Was this the biggest fraud scandal in Minnesota's history? Or did a social media post spark a firestorm that spiraled out of control? Today, we break down the Minnesota fraud case, how it began, what's true, and what it means for America. Minnesota has been under federal scrutiny for welfare, Medicaid, and social services fraud for years, long before one viral video gained attention. Federal investigators had already charged dozens of people in large-scale cases, including long-running schemes tied to pandemic relief funds and other public programs. In one high-profile case, a nonprofit called Feeding Our Future was charged with stealing hundreds of millions in food aid intended for children during the COVID pandemic. The economic consequences are significant. Fraud in Minnesota's social programs not only diverts billions of taxpayer dollars from critical services like healthcare, child welfare, and education, but it also reduces public trust in federal programs designed to support the vulnerable. Analysts estimate that nationwide mismanagement and fraud in similar programs could cost the U.S. economy billions annually, slowing economic recovery and burdening state budgets. So the question isn't just why now, but why so much focus suddenly came from one viral clip on YouTube. On December 27, 2025, YouTuber Nick Shirley released a 42-minute investigative video titled, "I Investigated Minnesota's billion-dollar fraud scandal." Shirley visited several childcare facilities and social services providers in Minneapolis, claiming they appeared inactive despite receiving substantial public funds. In some cases, millions of taxpayer dollars. The video quickly spread across YouTube and social platforms, aggregating tens of millions of views within days. Shirley's main assertions included that some federally funded daycare centers had no children present at times he visited, that facilities allegedly received millions of dollars while providing little to no services, and that these practices raised broader questions about oversight of social programs and the economic cost to taxpayers. These claims sparked debate, outrage, and immediate political attention. Independent records show that many of the centers featured in the video held active licenses and were inspected recently by state regulators, with no documented evidence of fraud at those specific sites. A news reporter publicly contradicted the viral claim about one daycare being empty by confirming she personally saw children inside at another time. A Craigslist ad that circulated as evidence was later revealed to be a prank, not proof of wrongdoing. Despite true or disputed claims, the viral attention coincided with increased federal action. The Department of Homeland Security announced agents were conducting door-to-door visits at suspected fraud locations across Minneapolis, a dramatic escalation that drew national scrutiny. FBI Director Kash Patel stated that investigators had already been working on fraud cases, and the video was only the tip of the iceberg in a long-running investigation. State and federal agencies began focusing again on social services programs that had been on audit or review for months or years. Earlier federal fraud cases in Minnesota had already exposed hundreds of millions in misappropriated funds. At the same time, acting U.S. attorneys estimated that total fraud in several targeted social services programs could reach up to $9 billion, though this figure is disputed by state officials as sensationalized. The ripple effect on the U.S. economy is concerning. Federal funds misappropriated in Minnesota affect budgets across states, limiting resources for healthcare, education, and disaster relief. Fraudulent claims can increase administrative costs, trigger stricter oversight, and slow down legitimate aid programs for citizens who rely on them. Economists warn that continued fraud could erode public confidence in federal programs and destabilize local economies. The Trump administration responded by suspending nearly $130 million in federal benefits paid to Minnesota, demanding more transparency on spending. The controversy has driven intense political debate in Minnesota and nationally. Governor Tim Walz defended his record, saying his administration had taken steps against fraud for years and disputing exaggerated figures. Republicans and national figures used the viral claims to criticize state oversight. Critics of the viral narrative point to misinformation risks, including reactions that led to harassment of minority communities, raising concerns about online narratives moving faster than facts. What does this case teach us? A viral video alone can shift national focus, but virality doesn't equal truth. Long-standing fraud investigations may be enhanced by public attention, yet misinformation can harm innocent people and public trust. Government oversight, audit systems, and media literacy are essential to prevent waste, protect taxpayers, and safeguard the economy without scapegoating communities. The Minnesota fraud case reveals more about how information spreads in the digital age and how power, politics, and public trust collide. But with every viral claim comes responsibility to verify, to question, and to seek facts over sensationalism. If this video helped you understand both sides of the story, hit like. Comment below, do you think viral videos should influence federal investigations? And subscribe for more investigative deep dives.